The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate. That forced everybody to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy. Time to drop the really big bomb. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT. Mark this post for the future. The truth will come out. Look, I think that the thing about this that is the biggest deal is, of course, not the first thing that comes to mind. The first thing that comes to my mind is, oh, so Elon Musk knows that Donald Trump is a super bad guy and yet was like, everybody should vote for him. He's my friend. We should make an America together with us two at the helm. But also he's in the Epstein files, which I think we're implying beyond, hung out with Jeffrey Epstein sometimes and was mentioned in a file. Of course, that's usually what it means when someone's in the Epstein files, but the implication is that there's something more nefarious going on. In which case, I don't know, I might not have helped get him elected. The second thing that comes to mind is that it's just very clear that Donald Trump believes that his job as the president of the United States is to use our power, yours and mine, if you're an American, to do his bidding. And so if he wants something in the world, like for Elon Musk to have a bad day, he is going to use the power that we have granted him to unilaterally make Elon Musk have a bad day. Now, this might just be bloviating and talking, but I will ask you to remember that when Donald Trump got into power, the value of Tesla went up dramatically. And now that they're having a public spat, the value of Tesla has just today dropped dramatically. The people who spend a lot of time trying to figure out the value of companies, who ostensibly know roughly what they're doing, are definitely pricing in Donald Trump's opinions about people in stock prices. And that's not how it should work. That is an example of pretty clear-cut corruption. How Donald Trump feels about an individual person should not affect how our government spends its money. This is our money and is being used for the power of this guy. I was pretty hesitant to believe when I heard people who had lived in some countries that had experienced democratic backsliding. What I heard from those folks is, just look at the money. It's gonna feel really complicated and weird, and there's gonna be lots of complex, and there's gonna be court cases, and there's gonna be all this stuff. There's gonna be a lot of noise. But just look at the money. Just look at the opportunities for them to actually just enrich themselves with dollars. And this seems really wrong to me because, of course, Donald Trump doesn't need money. He's 78 years old. He's very rich already. But they seem to be right. They seem to be right that these people are in this game to not get themselves more powerful, which I think that's also part of it, but really in large part to make themselves more money, which is obviously not the thing to do. And the most frustrating thing is, and I don't know, I'm just a science guy, I don't know, but it seems like they are willing to destroy far more value than they end up capturing. The degradation to the American project by hurting our relationships with these other countries, these random and constantly fluctuating tariffs. I'm a business person. This makes it very hard for me to plan my business. I know lots of companies that are just not hiring right now because they don't know what's going to happen in 3 days. It's a bad environment to try and run a business. And I know that there is a school of thought here that is Donald Trump is just doing these things because he's going to do something clever and then get the outcome that's good for America. But I'm legitimately worried that every time they make an announcement about tariffs, that they're doing insider trading. Maybe I shouldn't feel this way, but it looks like some people are trading right before the announcements happen. I don't know who those people are, but they seem to have insider information. I'm legitimately worried that Donald Trump has a cryptocurrency that you can purchase entirely anonymously, and when you do that, the value of Donald Trump's net worth increases substantially. And there's no way to know who is doing that. There's no way to know if it's somebody who a little bit later got pardoned. There's no way to know if it's a person who is a dictator of another country who wants a favor. And the fact that Donald Trump seems to be so completely open to the favor model and to the using of our power and our assets to like affect the outcome he wants, even if it is as petty as just like making some guy's day worse. This draws me out of the like reality TV moment of the high school drama of these two men bickering at each other and back into like my deep worry about this country being led by these men. So even though I did immediately tweet something snarky that kind of diminished the situation, I do feel like this is not a situation that should be diminished, and I should probably delete my tweet. I am sick of it, but that doesn't mean that I get to stop living it. So one day at a time, we're doing this. We're trying to live in the world in a way that leaves it better than we found it, trying to solve more problems than we create. That's what we're up to. That's what we're doing. And now I'm going to play connections. Pipe, Eve. Summer, Apple. Well, we've got Apple and Eve. Snake, also an Adam and Eve thing. Rim, Crow, Verge. Verge is a website, and it is the edge of the thing. Verge and cusp. Okay, well, that's good. Bumper, Turner, Plunger, Spoiler. Bumper, Turner, Plunger, Spoiler. Brink, Wrench, Grill with an E. What's the other one? We got Verge, Cusp, Brink. Bumper, not really. Rim. Yeah, rim. I feel like that word's got a lot of meanings, but I feel like that's one of them. Let's shuffle these so that they're all in the same place so they stop confusing me, because I'm pretty sure that's a category. A spoiler. A spoiler is part of a car, and a bumper is part of a car, and a grill is part of a car. So there's got a big wrench, no. Plunger, Turner, Tina Turner, Tina Apple, Tina Crow, Cheryl Crow, Tina Turner, Fiona Apple, ho-ho! And maybe another one. And Eve 6. I alone and the one you don't and the one you don't know you need. Is that Eve 6? I have no idea. On the edge, a verge, a brink, a cusp. And I'm just on the edge. I'm just on the rim. I'm just on the pipe. Just on the eve. On the eve. That works. So verge, brink, eve. On the eve of this change. Yeah, okay. And then I can get, and then that makes sense for rim, bumper, grill, spoiler. Gotcha. Okay, and that leaves me with Crow, Apple, Turner. Those are all the last names of female singers, but I don't know the last one. Summer can be a last name sometimes. Pipe can't. So pipe is in our category here. Pipe and wrench. And snake, these are plumbing tools. And plunger. Okay, so that leaves me with Eve, Crow, Apple, Turner. Apple, Turner, Eve, Crow. I don't know who the Eve is. I don't know who this Eve is, but it feels good to me, you guys. And I am glad to do connections after I make a video that is freaking me out, because it's just a little bit of a cleanse, a little bit of a brain scrub. But is this the purple? And if I do it, I don't know who this Eve is. People gonna be mad at me not knowing this Eve? Oh, Eve! Dang it! Oh, you were yelling at me the whole time, weren't you? That's in the other one. This is why you try to get purple first, so you could stretch your brain muscles. What did I miss? It's not spoiler, not cusp, not rimmed, not plunger, not snake, not summer. Is it summer? Is it summer? It's summer. Okay. Donna Summer. Ooh, I should probably know that, but I don't. At the 1980 Grammy Awards, Donna Summer, I was a baby. Donna Summer. Sometimes you gotta be a little bit older than I am to be great at connections. And then what's gonna be next? Do you think snake, wrench, plunger, pipe? Maybe. Maybe not. Nope. That was the green. Grill, bumper, spoiler, rim? I don't know. All these seem pretty similarly. Okay. Yeah, okay. I see. It's not just parts of the car, specific parts of the car. And then the precipice on the eve. All right. Well, video done, everybody. Video done.